afternoon, folks, and welcome to another edition of An Hour with Bob. We're here with a good friend, a real nice guy, and everybody knows him, very popular guy on NBC-10 here in Rhode Island, and that's Dan Jaehning. How you doing, Dan?
Bob, great to have you. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get here, but it's good to finally be here with you.
Yeah.
And I enjoy your show, and so it's good to be here, and it's good to be with all the people watching. I know you have a big fan base.
I would hope so. I hope so. It's been a long time. I've been
You've
doing
been
this a
doing
long
this for
time.
how long?
33.
It's incredible.
33 years. 34. May 29th is 34 years.
And you've had a lot of big names here. So obviously
Yeah.
this week you had nobody else. You could find nobody else.
Nobody else.
So you called me in.
But I got to
I'm
tell
willing
you,
to help.
a lot of people have sat in that chair
I
or
know.
other chairs and made it and done very well.
Oh, I bet.
And done very well, and including, we talked about, you mentioned one, Dylan Dreyer.
Yes.
Dylan Dreyer was number 5 weather girl on Channel 10 at the time.
You're right.
And Catherine Tappan was the weekend sportscaster on
You're right.
Channel 10. Catherine Tappan and I did something different. We had An Hour with Bob on location in East Greenwich, set up a dinner on 20 Water Street.
Nice.
Upstairs.
Yeah.
And it was on a Friday or Saturday night, and they had the bouncer at the bottom of the stairs so nobody could come upstairs. And we had it dinner like we were on a date.
Yeah.
You know, the tablecloth, and the chef come out, and
Nice.
you know, the whole thing, you know. I don't drink, but they had champagne there and everything. And we're talking, I'm talking, she's got to speak like a person instead of just reading the news or the sports or whatever.
Yep.
And talking about, she was a 3-sport athlete in college and all this stuff. And weeks later, she gets hired by Channel 7. And she used the tape of the show for that purpose.
There you go.
A few months later, she calls me. She says, "Can you do me a favor?" I said, "Sure, what?" She says, I got a friend of mine that's still with Channel 10. Can you have her on your show? I said, "Who?" She said, "Dylan Dreyer." So I invite her on the show, and I talk to her and her life and where she's from and all that stuff. And lo and behold, she used it. She used it, and she ended up.
You're a star maker.
Well,
The network might call me after this. Who knows, right?
that's right. My biggest one. My biggest one was she's on Channel 2 in New York City right now,
Okay.
and she was on Fox over here in Rhode Island after 5 years being behind the scenes, which I couldn't believe. And in fact, I said, "Who's running that Channel 12?" I says, "Ronnie Millsap and Ray Charles." I mean, this woman was beautiful. Plus, she got, I mean, a pleasant, the most pleasant person.
Yeah, that's nice.
Christine Johnson.
Oh, yeah, Christine's a friend of mine.
Yep.
Yeah,
Well,
she's fantastic.
If you ever talk to her, you ask her.
No, I know. I talked to her, yeah, because they wanted me and Christine to be co-anchors at Channel 12 at one point.
No
They
kidding.
wanted to bring us together. We had lunch together with all the bosses when I was at 10, but the deal didn't work out. But she's a sweetheart. She's a great person.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
One of the nicest people I ever
She's
interviewed.
fantastic.
And the second time she was on the show, I said to her, I said, "You know, I see you," because she didn't seem like she had a lot of confidence at the time. Well, she wasn't. She was put back because Karen Adams was the top dog over there. And I says, "I see you big time. In fact, get this one. I swear to God I said this, and I can prove it. I said, I see you within the next 3 to 5 years filling in for Katie Couric when Katie Couric was on NBC.
Right.
Now, first of all, it made no sense because here she's on CBS,
Right.
CBS affiliate here in Providence, and I'm telling her that she's going to fill in for Katie Couric. Well, don't you know, a couple months later, I get a phone call from the studio. Somebody called in and wanted a copy of the tape that she was on. What happened was a guy from California, his brother, the guy from California was an agent, and the brother came and was down the Cape, and my show used to air down the Cape.
Right.
And he saw it, and he called his brother, and his brother said, "Get the tape." So they called the studio
Wow,
and
that's
asked him.
interesting. Sorry, I didn't know that.
So then they asked me for the tape. So I give them the tape, and then she gets called, and
Look at this. This is like the casting chair.
So she ends up doing a 2 o'clock in the morning show.
Right, that morning show for NBC. Yes.
And then
She's done well, yeah.
Then she ends up filling in for Katie Couric.
There you go. And now she's the lead anchor at WCBS, I believe, right?
In New York City, yeah.
Really great person. Great person.
That's huge. That's huge.
It
That's
is,
crazy. And here you are.
And here I am. Maybe I'm coming that way. Who knows,
Now
right?
you started on cable.
Yeah, so I have a lot of respect for you and for all the people in the studio, because I started when I was in the 7th grade. I knew I wanted to get into television.
Right.
And so I volunteered. I grew up in the city of Quincy, just south of Boston, and they had Quincy Cable, which is pretty, predominant at that point. So I would do behind the scenes camera work, and
Right.
and then they finally wanted to do like a kids magazine. So I would go shoot stuff, and I would go interview people, and it's such a great medium to start on, because you guys have a studio and you have equipment, and you have talent here that necessarily you don't get in college. My college was
Yeah.
not known for broadcasting, but it was all we could afford. I came from a large family.
Yeah, I know. You're the youngest.
I was the youngest of 7 brothers, and I always joke with my daughters, we looked at all these campuses. The first day I looked at a campus was the first day of my classes. My father said, this is what we can afford, this is what you get into, you go. And their journalism department, their studio, was about the size of a closet.
Really?
So I always tell people, don't worry about, I went to Harvard or I went here. It's really not what what you do with.
It's what you make of
I mean, it helps. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
I went to Suffolk, and then I went back and taught there to try to improve the department. But it's really about your person and working on. I have a sign on my desk, and it says, "Be kind, work hard," and it's the real truth.
Right.
And I get that from my late parents, God bless them. But anyways, so I went to the school. I didn't go. We couldn't afford Emerson.
Right.
We couldn't afford Syracuse. We couldn't afford it. I was the youngest of 7 brothers. So you just work hard and you do the right thing. And but it started here, walking around and seeing the cameras. What's the red light on?
Right.
I mean, I was in awe. So we're so lucky that we still have local cable television, and and you are a pioneer in doing talk shows and getting people to really open up about who they are, other than the prompters.
Right.
Right?
'Cause that's what you do, right?
Right. Yeah.
And I try to explain. People say, "How come you always have TV people on it?" I said, "Because they want their people too, and I want people to know who they are, their personalities, how they are,
Exactly, yeah.
quirky they are."
Yeah, it's fun.
And you getting back to what you said about the studio years ago, I used to have 8 or 10 workers here,
Oh, yeah.
volunteers. No more.
Yeah.
This generation doesn't want to do anything for nothing. See, they don't get paid. I don't get paid. People don't
Yeah.
even believe that.
I think everybody in every industry can understand this, right?
Right.
I think the pandemic had a lot to do with it. I think self-preservation had something to do with it. But it's when I go through the store and I see help wanted, help wanted, help wanted,
Right.
nobody wants to work.
Right.
I grew up. I started working in the 5th grade. I'm sure you did the same thing. I was a newspaper guy, and then
I sold
worked,
newspapers,
and then I sold newspapers, and then I got the big route, and then I got the brute route for my brothers, and I had to go drive around on my bike after school every day, and then go to practice for baseball, whatever. And I still enjoy the work,
Right.
But it's tough to find that work ethic. And I always tell I have 23-year-old twin daughters, right? And I still
Wow.
have hair, so thank
Yeah,
God. Don't ask
wow.
me. And it's real, just
Yeah,
so you know.
it's still there.
But I always tell them, get up in the morning, be the first one there, smile,
Yep.
and fortunately they've inherited a good work ethic, but it's so important.
That's the thing. They
Yeah.
don't have, a lot of these kids today don't have a work
They don't,
ethic.
but some of them do, and those are the ones that do. You really have to kind of nurture, even if they don't know what they're doing.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they come in and they're like, "Oh, what's a VOSAR or what's a VO?"
But they're
And
there.
But as long as they're there and they want to be, they can be
They're
on my team.
trying. They're trying.
Yeah, and they want to. If they want to try and they have a good attitude, I'll put them on the team. I believe that.
Right.
You
Right.
know what I'm saying?
And
So-
I've seen years, like I told you off camera, I had 2 brothers that worked for me when they were 14 and 15
Yeah.
years old, and they didn't go to college or nothing, but they're working for the networks now.
There you go. Well, listen, college is not for everybody. Not everybody can afford college.
Right.
So this is, access. All you have to do is show up, and you too can work for Bob Ventura.
right,
There
that's
you go.
right.
But I mean, that's how you learn it,
And it's easy, well, you'll get more learning here, as you explained. They work on cameras here, in the studio, and everybody gets a shot. They even can, they'll edit, they'll do the character generator, they'll even direct the show.
Right. Yeah.
And that's
So
how.
listen, if your crew, I met all of your crew before we started, they love it, and that's why they do it.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Because they could probably go down to UPS or somewhere else and make twice as much money, they love it, and that's what we do. We love it, and you know, especially local TV news and journalism and ever, it's somewhat under assault.
Yes.
We're not a perfect medium, so you really have to love what you do, because the days of getting in it for the money are somewhat gone in some aspects.
Right. Well,
You know?
there's too much different medium now.
Well, and it, you know, it's owned by a lot of corporations now, so you know.
Now, how long you been in the media?
So I've been in media, gosh, for I started in the 7th grade, so, you know, I'm probably 40 years, but I was at Channel 10 for 5 years as a reporter.
Right, initially.
Right, and
Then
then
you
I got
went to
I
Boston.
got a couple of offers to go to a couple of different places in the country. I was lucky and worked hard, and I ended up going
Where'd you go?
I went to Boston, so I went to Fox 25 News.
Right.
I got a couple offers in Boston. The funny story about that was they had a 10 o'clock news. That was their big claim to fame.
Yep.
And I had just had twin babies. So I thought, boy, I can go to Boston and get home and do the midnight feeding. So I thought that's the reason why I took that job, because I would have gone to another station. And lo and behold, I did that. So I went up there for 5 years, and I had a fantastic run. I traveled across the country. It was great. And then my predecessor, Doug White, passed.
Right.
And I was considering my next move, and my former news director and a beloved friend, Betty Jo Cagini, called me up and said, "Would you come back?
Right.
You know, we need a familiar face. We need some energy." So I had a couple of offers, and she was loyal to me, and she followed through, and I came back 14 years ago, I think.
Yeah.
And then got promoted, and you know, so you know, it's great. You know.
I had your co
Emily.
Emily. She's
Yeah,
a
she
peach.
is fantastic.
What a nice person she is.
She's great. You know, her and I do the 5:30, and we do the 7, and the 7 has.
And you
become-
guys get along perfectly.
Yeah, she's. I mean,
you are
yeah.
perfect opposites.
Yeah. Well, I think you know when you watch television that there's this, you know, kind of fake chemistry,
Right, you
where
can tell.
everybody has to love each other, and everybody has to have, you know, their kids, know their kids' first names. I think. One of the things about me is that whatever you see on television is what you get. I'm a
Yes,
pretty
yeah.
real guy. And Emily is, not only is she extremely smart, I mean, but she's quick and she's funny,
Right.
and she gets along. So, I mean, I'm lucky. I get to work beside her and Patrice Wood. I mean,
Right, there you go.
I mean, Patrice is a legend.
Yep.
Emily's fantastic. So that's a great thing. If you can find a good team, and I think we have that at Channel 10, I have great relationships with everybody. And you know, not too many stations now you turn on and you can be like, hey, there's that guy.
Right,
Because
yeah.
whether it's Boston or New York or Rhode Island.
There's a lot of changing.
Yeah. So
What
it's-
number station is Channel 10?
Channel 10 is the
In
number
the
one.
country? No,
Oh.
in the country. What is it, 42 or
Oh
something?
my Lord, yeah, it's like 42. But you know, our 6 o'clock news is like one of the top 5 6 o'clock news in the country.
Really?
And the 7 o'clock news, which I created
Right.
years ago.
Oh, that was your
I
gig.
created it years ago my general manager called me in, and she didn't want to pay for Access Hollywood anymore. So she said,
No kidding,
you need
really?
to come up with something, because, well, you know, those syndicated shows are so expensive. So can you create something? And I want it to be different. So I said, let's do a countdown, and let's do this. And so Allison and I launched it, Allison Bologna.
Of course.
And then Emily joined us, and it's the number 1 7 o'clock news in the country.
No way.
Think about that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And a lot of places have started them and lost them. But again, it comes down to chemistry and being authentic.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, and the product. You put-
And that we have a fantastic product. You know, thank God to all the people behind the scenes.
At
I have great
7,
respect
that's 7,
for
right?
all the people behind scenes, because we're only as good as they are. Yeah, and we have Mark Searles, who's fantastic, and we have a great producer who's been there for years. We give her a hard time every so often on the air, you know. But you know what? I always tell people there's a lot of reasons to turn to 10. But I understand sometimes you watch it and it's like, oh, the economy's going down. Social Security's going to be killed off. 2 people got shot down the street, you know. And you have to realize there's a balance in life, you know. So, you know, give them the news and then maybe give them a laugh.
And you do. You're good at
Oh,
that.
you know,
Especially at
yeah.
the end of the news.
Yeah.
You come up with some anecdote.
But that's who I am. I mean, if you know me around the newsroom,
Yep.
everyone knows I joke with them. I joke when I'm out in public. You know, I love to laugh. But, you know, you can tell people the seriousness of a story in the news, balanced, and then
Leave them with a light.
have a little laugh.
Yeah,
you know, and sometimes you don't, and sometimes you do, and sometimes you go overboard, and you know, sometimes you get called in the boss's office.
Oh, do you? Yeah, yeah. I'll bet you have been.
But you know what? When I see people in the street, they're more apt to come up to me and say, "You make me laugh," or "I really feel like I know you," as opposed to, "You did a great job on that murder story last night."
Right.
Right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And I still do the interview. You know, I do the interviews. I interview the governor once a month,
Yeah.
Mayor Brett Smiley once a month, and you know, I get criticized for being too tough on these people. So, you know,
Really?
I'm never going to make everybody happy, but I am myself. So that's kind of just like you are. When you turn on the show, Bob is Bob.
This is what you get.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
If you're expecting anything more, switch the channel, right?
No,
So, yeah.
Mark Searles started
Mark
with Channel 6.
He came from Channel 6.
He was on my show when he was on Channel 6, and he's been on the show
Yeah,
on
since then,
Channel.
yeah,
He hasn't
yeah,
been
yeah.
on in a while, though.
Yeah, he's so busy. So Mark's one of my best friends.
Yep.
You know, we get along very, very well. We hang out together quite a bit. Yeah, and he's great. He takes his job so seriously, and he's on what? I mean, I do 4 shows a night.
Right.
He's in 5, I think.
Yeah.
Doing weather, you know, and
Yep.
so yeah, so we have a great weather department, but he's a great guy in the community. So yeah.
Seekonk guy
What?
from Seekonk.
Okay, he's born and raised in Seekonk. Went to Channel 6, and then went Vermont or whatever, and went to 6, and then got hired by us, which was one of our best hires, I think.
Yeah.
One of our best. And he's great. You know.
What's with Vermont and weather?
I know, right?
A lot of almost
Well, I
every.
think don't maybe I'm wrong here, but is it one of the colleges down there too? Is it Linden State that's in Vermont, or
Oh,
maybe that's
there's a
somewhere else?
couple of meteorology colleges.
So a lot of
up
them
there.
go to that. Mark didn't go to that one. Mark
Oh, he
went to
didn't?
the University of Colorado.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
That's
because
right.
I mean, who wants to work in Vermont in the middle of 2 mountains in a snowstorm, right?
It
Maybe
was
I
one
will. I'll
below
end up
zero.
there.
It was 1 below 0 in Burlington, Vermont, the other night.
Right.
I used to drive up there to pick up my son when his mother moved 22 miles north of Burlington.
Yeah.
And
And Burlington's a great. Burlington,
Oh,
I love
nice town.
Church Street is it right? You know.
Yeah.
It's a great area, stuff like that. So, but I mean, we have a lot of great people that come from all over, New England, and you know how it is when you start in this business, you have to go somewhere
Right.
that you probably don't want to go.
They all travel.
Yeah.
Who did I have? I had on a few months ago. They were in Fargo.
Oh, Fargo, yeah, we've had a few of those.
Can you
yeah.
imagine?
Right,
Having
yeah.
to work up there.
Yeah, but we had a couple of people we hired from like way up in Maine, like Presque Isle, and even further Bangor. I mean, Bangor is a hike.
And
So
and if you look at the latitude, Bangor, Maine is higher than Montreal. I
yeah.
think.
So
So you're really up there in the
Yeah.
cold weather.
But at the same time, you get an appreciation for New England weather because I don't care about AI or whatever, unless you grow up here and you know certain patterns. You're not going to know it if you're coming from California to work in this market.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know,
Yep.
lake effect, the mountains. So
And I've always said we have the best weather.
Yeah.
All around, we have the best weather.
we can't complain.
You get the 4 seasons and nothing really bad.
No.
We don't get the mudslides.
We get a lot. I mean, a lot of people probably watching. A lot of our viewers are snowbirds, right? They go down to Florida and
Right.
because they watch us online on turn10.com. You can stream us,
Right.
And they all stream us down there. So it's funny, It's not funny when on a winter storm and they say, "Hey, I'm in the pool watching you." Then that's not too funny. I'm like, get to switch roles with you. I'll be in the pool, you be up here, and
I was just in Florida last
Yeah,
week.
you said that.
I was
right
down
before the
in
holidays.
the Keys. I was in
yeah,
the Keys.
it's a beautiful place.
I like the Keys.
Yeah, they're fun.
But the traffic in Florida now is crazy.
Oh, I bet,
It's
yeah.
really bad. It's
Yeah.
really bad being down there.
I don't get down there much, but I'd like to get down there, a little bit. But I just love it in New England.
I could never stay down there.
No.
A couple
hot.
times I went down there to buy property and changed my mind when I was down there.
Well, that real estate market's so tough too. I think I would think that if you want to go down there for 3 months, rent something and then
You're better
so
off.
long. Every storm you're going to be worried, and
Yep.
gosh knows we have.
And
one a
now
year.
there's a big problem. You're familiar with the Villages?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
The Villages, it started out as this contractor, developer built a bunch of houses and sold the houses and then did the same thing more and more and more and more. It's so big, they have 2 Walmarts,
Right.
one
Yeah,
on
yeah, I
each
saw
side
that,
of it.
yeah.
It's bigger than most cities.
Yeah.
I don't know how many, I don't know if it probably has 150,000 people, I don't know.
Yeah. It's
But
like
anyway,
their own world.
now, because of the hurricanes and the floods and whatever, they're having a big problem with insurance.
Yes, that's a
It's
big
way
problem.
high, but even more so. People like got in there early on and paid a couple $100,000 for a house because they had 3 levels of houses of $200,000 back in the day, 200, 400, and $600,000 or $800,000 houses, and people retired there on Social Security. They knew how much money they had. And they knew that HOA what it was going to be, and they knew how much the mortgage was going to be, and all that stuff. Well, now they have this assessment for the roads because it's not a city.
Right.
They're their own entity.
Yeah.
So
Insurance is, I mean, insurance, whether you're in Florida or you're here, I mean, that is the story, right? My car insurance, and I have had no accidents in my life,
Right.
believe it or not, right? Knock on wood, because I'll probably get fender bender on the way out of here, right?
Yeah.
But, and my insurance went up $300, and that's because in this area, more accidents
Yep.
and the higher cost of repairs. But yeah, you can get a place down there, but then you wait to insure it, and then all of a sudden the value goes down, so.
Well, what's happening is they're tacking on this huge assessment for the roads and stuff.
Right, you said that, yeah.
Several $100 a month. So if you're used to, you're working on a $1,500 a month Social Security benefit, and all of a sudden you get hit with something like
Yeah.
this. So there's something like 4,000 houses for sale in the villages.
That's incredible.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
And so there goes the property value down there.
right.
Plus, it's in the middle of nowhere. It's in Ocala. It's in the northern part of flat land. There's nothing. You're not near the water or nothing.
Right, but it's a community.
It
It's
is.
a pretty active community, right?
Oh, it is. I mean, it's really neat.
Yeah.
People drive around with golf
Golf
carts,
carts, yeah.
and they're
Full of life.
some of them are I mean, real fancy
yeah,
golf
yeah,
carts.
yeah,
They're
yeah,
$20,000,
yeah.
$30,000, $40,000 golf carts.
Gosh.
It's crazy.
Life is tough.
It's crazy. What kind of stories do you like to do?
Well, it's funny. This past year, I just started a new series called Dan Jaehning Reports, and what I do is I go out and I cover people or issues that don't get really focused on.
Right.
So I did, a sit down with Brett Smiley's husband. I did Helena Folks at home. I did Gabe Amo. I did the Echo Village, those little huts. I was the first reporter
Right.
to get into those right
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And it just, we air them at 7 o'clock. We get more time. They can be
Right.
as up to 4 minutes long, which in TV is a long
That's
time.
big, yeah.
But it's really gone over really well because people, kind of like your show, you get to know somebody. I can ask them any question I want.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you kind of learn things about people that you normally wouldn't learn at an event where you're shaking hands or, in a 2-minute news clip.
A clip, exactly. Yeah.
So I've been lucky. The station's been great. So we're going to relaunch it in the new year. And we have some great people lined up that we're going to do. Just big names, great people in the community. One of the stories I did, honestly, was one of my favorites. I'm driving and I hear about at Buttonwood Zoo an elephant that was in hospice care.
What?
Yeah, so you never hear that, right? Because usually when you think
Oh,
of hospice,
people don't even know of Buttonwoods.
right, which is a great zoo.
I did a show there years
It
ago.
is a great zoo.
Yeah.
So anyways, I heard that this elephant was in hospice, and I said, you know what? Anybody who's had a loved one pass, which I've had,
Right.
you can relate. And so I tried to tell the story through the elephant.
Oh, no kidding.
And it was one of the hardest stories I had to write. Of course, when I went into the meeting and I said, hey guys, I'm going to do a story about an elephant in hospice, they all looked at me and said, he's lost his head now, right? Seriously, right? It was fun. But I get to do it and get to meet great people and talk to people. So I love that. So I love people stories.
So it was in hospice in the zoo?
In the zoo. It was dying, so they called it hospice care, and it was a national story.
Really?
But they gave me access, and I met the caretakers, and I'm interviewing them, and they're crying as if, I cried when my parents passed,
Right, yeah.
And it's funny, everybody who saw it said, "Oh my God, my dog's dying," and they related to it. So when I went back into
Absolutely.
the meeting, I said, "Hey, when I come in with crazy story ideas, you got to let me do them."
That's right. Yeah.
So
no
I like stories that are personal. I try to make people laugh. I think that's an important part, especially these days. But I just like to get to know people.
Right.
I feel like we're so on. The phone has become our defense mechanism.
Awful.
You're waiting at the deli for a pound of ham. And I might say, hey, what kind of ham is that? I'd never had that ham before.
Right.
And then a conversation strikes. We don't do that enough. I always say, Bob, to my kids, the most important word in our life is 2 letters. Hi. Hi.
There you go. Very good.
So I try to do that to everybody and try to teach that. So who knows?
Well, you see that when you go to different parts of the country, or even better, different parts of the world.
Yeah.
How people are, how people react to you, and how some people are stoic, and some people are nice, and some, like go to the Thailand or Vietnam or countries like that, the Buddhist people. I mean, they're the friendliest people on earth.
Oh yeah. Well, my daughters just went to Ireland and Scotland.
Yep.
And they came back and they were like, "Oh my gosh."
Yeah.
Because I remember when I traveled over there, I backpacked in college, and when I went over there, they were so nice to me, I was suspicious.
Exactly.
Right? It's like, come to my house and have a cup of tea
what do
and
you
stay
want?
over. And I'm in bed with the butter knife, like, okay, I'm gonna die in this Irish inn. And but it was fine. The next day you get up and there's a nice pot of tea. So I always say to my kids, watch this. I'm gonna say hi to these people, and I love the reaction.
Right.
Because it's either like, oh, thank you, hi, how are you, or it's, what did you just say to me? Hi. So it's funny. But what does it take? Two seconds for 2 letters? And
I was with a friend of mine in Florida again, and I'd never met his girlfriend, and we were down there for like a week or so, and we went.
This is cable news. Is this an appropriate story, Bob?
Yeah.
All right.
So
we got to save ourselves.
So we go to the airport to pick her up. We pick her up, and she wants to eat, so we go to a restaurant. So we're in the restaurant, and immediately I start talking to this couple next to us. And she turned to him. I heard her. I'm talking to them, and I can hear her. How come he's talking to them people? And he goes, well, he's talking to them. What do you mean? Well, he don't know them, does he? Well, why is he talking to them? And I end up had to chime in. I had to say something. I go, what do you mean? Why did you talk to those people? I go, because that's what you do.
Yeah, you say hello.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you always get the feedback. But anyways, like that. So that's always my joke. I always tell people, say hello.
It's good, but again, you go to when I first time I went to Thailand or even Taiwan or like I said, Vietnam. Everybody says hi to you. Everybody talks to you. Everybody looks at you in the eye. That's the other thing. Kids today, not around here today, they don't.
Well, it's not even kids; it's adults too. But I think it's probably like a defense mechanism because of this area. But I can tell you that I've once you say hello to somebody and they light up, it doesn't. I think everyone is naturally friendly. I mean, if somebody wants to say hi and they don't want to talk to you, that's a different story, right?
Right.
So, I mean, I get that every day. Oh, hi, Dan. Right, we don't want to.
Well, wait a minute.
That's my coworker. Those are my coworkers
That's your
at Channel
coworkers?
10.
No,
I'm just kidding.
No, that would be if they expect you to be reporting on
Yeah,
them or
exactly.
something.
Right. Yeah. No, but I'm just saying, you get the feeling, but what does it hurt, right? So. I think people, and there's a lot of people out there that are walking around lonely, and they could use some help,
Exactly. I always tell people that it doesn't cost anything to be nice.
Nope. You were
can,
brought up right.
Well, I tried. Now you're one of what, 7?
So I'm the youngest of 7 brothers. Yeah, we had a very large family. Like I said, we grew up in Quincy. My dad was a watch electrician for Boston Edison, which is now NSTAR. Is it still NSTAR? I'm not even sure. And my mom was a stay-at-home mom. So she raised us, and we
What's the difference between,
well,
you're the youngest?
My oldest brother is, I think, 66 or 65.
Right.
And I just turned 56.
Right.
So
9 years.
Yeah, 9 years, yeah. So that was a lot. But we had our own basketball team, and we had a basketball court in the backyard, and, big dinners. My mother loved to make homemade food every night, so we had great dinners.
Now, how's the height? Who's the?
One of my brothers who sadly passed, he was 6'7". He was the tallest.
Wow.
Yeah, and then my brother Chuck, I think, is a little taller than me, and then it's me, and then they fall, So, yeah. It's never good to be the youngest and be taller. Right?
No?
No, because then my older brothers are like, oh, we gotta beat him up, right, or something.
Oh, really? Well, I thought they beat you up anyway.
Well, I mean,
Because you're the youngest. I was the middle. I was in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm one of 8.
I know you are. Yeah. Nice family. So.
And
I enjoy it and stuff like that. So we always had to have the community aspect in my family, right?
Right.
We always had dinners together, and you had to participate, and so I do that with my own kids. The importance of sitting down and having a good meal.
Right. Especially the Sunday meal. If you don't
we try to do that. Yeah. If I don't make food while taking for dinner, just to like a recap, how you doing, and how was work, and how's that woman at work that's being a PIA, and all that stuff. And then what do we got next week going on? It's just a regroup, and you do it over a meal, and I love that.
Right.
But I think that's a big family thing too.
Oh yeah.
Italian family, Irish families, we all love it.
What's your nationality?
So
Ancestry,
Jaehning
not
is
nationality.
German.
Yeah.
But I'm mostly Irish, a little Scottish. So I think in Germany, when I was over there, they say you pronounce it Jaehning. That's how you pronounce it.
Yeah, because it's not spelled like it sounds.
No, I mean, I get it. When I first
Where's
started,
the H?
when I started in this business, they wanted me to be Dan Jennings.
Oh, Jennings.
Yeah, Dan Jennings. And then they were like, Peter Jennings, I don't know. And, so when I first started this career, it was like, Dan Jenkins. I'd go to an event and people was like, ladies and gentlemen, Dan Junkahong. And I'm saying,
who are you talking to?
Who's that? Is that me? now they sort of get it right. So.
Now, what do you do besides work? What do you do? What else?
Oh my Lord, what do I do besides work? Well, I work the night shift, which you've probably done, and a lot of people in TV news and nurses and police officers, they all do it.
Right.
So I go in around, give or take, I have a 3:15 meeting I'm in every day.
Right.
It's one of several meetings I'm in. But if I have something before, an event, I'm going to go do a charity event, I'm going to meet people, or I'm going to shoot a story, obviously, that would change it. But on an average day, I go in, I have a meeting, I do the 5, I do the 5:30, then I have a little break unless Gene's off. If Gene's off, I'll do the 6 too. Then I do the 7, and then I do the 11. So in between, I'm meeting, going over stories. I'm very hands-on. I write a lot for the shows.
Now, when are you eating?
Well, obviously, I'm finding time, Bob, right? I joke on the TV about how I'm 30 pounds overweight. Gosh. Anyways, but I try to be involved. I write a lot. I work with the producers. I write opens. I write promotions. I love being involved. I don't want to be just coming in and reading a prompter. That's not me.
Right.
I like hands-on. I like to know the stories. I like to question the reporters. So I do that. On my time off, I love spending time with my kids. You have kids, I love spending time with them. I love to hike.
Really? Yeah.
Love the outdoors. Kayaking, hiking, skiing, all that stuff is great. I love to go out for dinner, and I love to cook. I'm a pretty good cook. Not
Really?
great,
What
but
kind
I'm a
of
pretty
stuff?
cook.
What kind
I'll
of
cook. Before I came in today, I made a chicken pot pie. I should have
Really?
brought you a piece.
Huh? You
I
should have
make
brought
chicken
me a
pot pie.
piece.
Yeah, I make a great chicken marsala. I make a great lasagna. I make a great chicken parm. I do a pretty good prime rib. So I love to cook.
Wow.
Yeah, I love to cook. So I mean, that's my mother. My mother loved to cook. So I think it's passed
Yeah, but
down.
there's no Italian involved there.
Well, chicken parm is Italian, and chicken.
No. I mean Italian.
Oh yeah.
In your ancestry, there's no Italian in the ancestry.
Yeah.
But yet
well,
you're able to.
when you work here as long as I have,
Right,
you're like
yeah.
an honorary Italian.
Where do you when you go out to eat? Where do you like to eat?
Well, I go both. I like a lot of places here. I like the. And of course, I can never remember the darn names of this place. The place in Providence. Gosh, don't hold me to it now. Too with the pizza, the famous pizza, the thin pizza.
Oh, Alfono's.
Yes, I think their pizza's fantastic.
Oh, it is.
And there's another place in New York City that sort of copied their pizza.
Who copied who?
Copied. Yeah.
Really?
Yes. And it's a place right near the oldest pub in New York City. So when you go into get a pizza, then you have to go over and it's right. You have to help the community, right? And so I like that place right there. There's a new place over in Warwick, on the Rotary there that's really good, and I can never remember the name of it. So the owners are probably gonna be like, Dan.
I was by that Rotary last night. I mean, that triple Rotary.
I can't think of the name of it. Gosh, somebody knows it. Yell it out. But it's a great little place that just opened up. Great bread. Federal Hill's fantastic.
Right. How about in Mass? Yeah, now you're
Massachusetts,
from Mass.
I love. Great restaurants in Massachusetts. There's a new restaurant that opened that's fantastic in the South End called the Capri Steakhouse. Italian Steakhouse. You can barely get a reservation.
Really?
But it's phenomenal. The decor is phenomenal. There's a great place that opened up in my home city of Quincy called Mason Steakhouse. You walk in, it's in an old Masonic temple. You walk in, you feel like you're in New York City. It is the decor, and the food was amazing. So
I want to go to New York City to catch the Today Show and catch Dylan Dreyer.
you probably should. She'd probably say hello to you.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to be there with a sign or something.
You should. Yeah, I bet she'd come out and say hello to you. She's. I never. We had to share the same desk, but then I didn't get a chance to meet her because when I got back from Fox, she was gone to 7.
Right.
But I've only heard fantastic things about her, so she's pretty great. So yeah, she'd love to see you.
Yeah, that would be fun. That would be fun.
Yeah.
And I go to see Christine Johnson.
Yeah. They'd love to see you.
Do you remember?
They should thank you for launching their careers.
That's right. They should. That should. Tony Potts. Do you remember him?
I do. Yes. So I used to work at 12.
The Upper Deck, when he had the Upper Deck, he was on this show.
Yeah. So I used to work at before I worked at. So I went Channel 12 behind the scenes.
Right.
Channel 22 on camera, and then I came to Channel 10.
Right.
Went to Boston, came back to Channel 10. So I worked with Karen Adams, Walter Cryan. I mean, some of the best people and nicest people.
Yep.
Learned a ton from them. So I was there during the Tony Potts, the controversial time when they did some show or the GM said something, but they were really ahead of their time with that show. It was Tony Potts and Karen Adams, I think.
Yep.
It was standing and
the Upper Deck. He called it the Upper Deck.
So then
he ended up in
California. Went to Access Hollywood.
Huh?
He went to Access Hollywood.
He was with Pat O'Brien.
Yes. Yeah.
And another one, Shelley Kerry. Do you remember her?
I don't know.
Oh my God, she was beautiful.
Really? Now, I think Tony's out of the business now.
Is he?
I haven't seen him.
You're right. I haven't heard it.
A lot. That's the thing about our business now is a lot of people aren't staying in it. We have a lot of great talent that are leaving because the hours, the money,
Well, with all the other networks, things going on,
Yeah, but I mean, even people that have been here in a long time, they're stepping aside. We've lost at Channel 10. We've gained a lot of people, but we've lost a lot of people just to outside the business. They went into public relations. They went into.
That's true. Into politics, they go into. They become
some of them,
working,
not here yet, but
not
hope,
here yet.
Yeah.
No,
we'll
I
see.
don't mean into politics. Go work for
Oh
politics.
yeah. We have one of our former reporters is an assistant to the governor.
Right.
One of our former producers is an assistant to Brett Smiley. So yeah, they go into that field, because the hours are tough.
Right.
The business is tough, and companies need to start investing in people.
Really? Yeah.
So, we were lucky for the talent we have. So we're fortunate.
What happened with Channel 6?
Well, I don't have all the answers, and I'm not being evasive at all. I want to be honest with you. We're kind of learning the process. So what happened is Channel 6, I believe, I don't know whether they were had a challenging time, but what happened is that our corporate company offered to run their station for them.
Right.
So we don't own that station.
Oh, you don't own
We
it?
don't. No. And I don't know if they need FCC approval. I'm
Right,
not.
right.
That's above my
Probably,
pay
yeah,
grade.
yeah.
But what I do know firsthand is that we are kind of helping running their stations, but we're also acquiring some of their employees. And we're also hiring a bunch of new reporters.
Right.
So Channel 6 will remain Channel 6 in whatever form they're going to remain in. You might see some people pop over there. You might see Mark Searles do the weather, Frank do the.
I have.
Yeah,
I have.
I'm told that we won't. The main evening people and morning people won't be on their channel. So whatever. But we are going to acquire. We're going to have one of the biggest reporting staffs in New England.
Wow.
Because we're hiring 6 new reporters. We're going to take some of their reporters, so that's pretty exciting because it's an investment in local TV news.
Right, right.
But the main people at Channel 10 aren't, we're Patrice, me, Emily, Jean, Mark, Frank, we're all there.
Right.
And in the mornings, Allison and Mario.
Oh, it's always been the #1 station.
Yeah, I mean, we're lucky, and we just had ratings come out the other day and they're fantastic. And, that's just, we thank our viewers, we really have.
Well, you're
loyal
consistent.
viewers.
The station's pretty consistent.
Pretty consistent, yeah. I mean, you're never going to make everybody happy all the time. And I think the thing is, media is not a perfect business, and I think sometimes what happens is local news gets mixed in with opinionated news. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
People will listen to, Matt Allen, Tara Granahan in the afternoon, and then watch us, and then watch Sean Hannity or Rachel Maddow and think we're all together, and we're not. There's commentators and there's newscasters.
Right.
So.
Right.
I feel like we do our darndest, as do our colleagues at the other stations, to really just put the news on fair and balanced, you know.
And that's got to be difficult because when you're dealing with all this fake news around you.
Yeah, you know, I always say to people, because, you know, I've heard, how many times have you heard TV is a dying business? Listen, the number one product at Best Buy is still televisions. And at the end of the day, seriously, at the end of the day, you want to sit down and you either want to watch, now there's a lot of streaming services now.
Right.
You either want to watch a good show,
Right.
or if you can find a news station or a newscast where you can relate with the anchors and you trust them and you trust the news, you want to sit down and just hear it.
Yep.
Make your own decision. I'm not here to make your decision up.
Right.
Right? That's not my job. My job is to give you, to tell you how to think would be an insult to all of our audience.
Yep.
We just give them the facts, you know. So.
What do you think of AI? How's that going to affect you guys?
Oh my Lord.
That's got to be terrible.
You know, I kind of said it on our newscast a couple of times, you know, in joking. You know, I know it helps people in a lot of different ways medically, and you know, it's great. But I think it's a wild, untamed beast.
Oh,
I think
dangerous.
Yeah, I think when the people who created it went to Congress and said, "Hey, we need to police this,"
They were right.
that says something.
Right. Right.
You know, and I don't like, you know, we were talking about people working, you know, and I always joke around about how when you go to the supermarket, they only put 2 people on the register, and they push you to checkout, and basically it's saying, hey,
Go over there.
take my job away.
See, I don't do that.
And I try to stand in line half
I
the
do
time,
that.
but they don't
That's
make
what-
it easy on you.
No, they don't.
Right.
But I do that all
So
the
I
time.
think the problem with the pandemic and the people, I think it's an easier time to put AI in when you have a generation or people that don't want to work as much, right? Because that's their excuse.
Right. Right.
I hate to replace anybody with a robot or a computer. I value people. I like to go and have someone say, "Good morning, Dan. You want 2 donuts and, you know, and a coffee?" Yes, I do.
Yeah.
But
Instead of having a
I'm old
machine
school
come
that-
out on the conveyor,
Yeah,
the food come out
exactly.
on the conveyor.
But then again, I think that's probably, I admit I'm old school with that, probably.
Yeah. Unfortunately, the younger kids are more accepting of stuff like that.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
thi-
listen, I'm not a curmudgeon. I'm all for technology. But as I say jokingly on our show, you know, we don't have to get off our butt to change the channels anymore.
Right.
All you have to do is speak now, right?
Yeah.
I want to watch An Hour with Bob.
Yeah.
It switches. If you don't want to drive your car, you get driverless cars. I mean, pretty soon we're just going to be, you know.
Sitting in a chair. Yeah, yeah. We're
Right?
going to be vegetables.
Right.
Can you remember anybody's phone number?
I remember my daughters, yeah. But
That's
yeah,
it.
Right.
Right? I
Yeah.
mean, I used to be I have 4 brothers and 3 sisters. I can remember everybody's phone number.
Yeah.
I can't anymore.
Well, they just don't want you to call.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
No, I'm just saying, and I'm not criticizing anybody. I know technology is so important and change is so important, but I just don't like to see people replaced. But if they don't want to be replaced, they need to stand up and start getting involved and start
Right.
joining the workforce. I love to work.
And they raised the minimum wage, and still they don't want to work.
But I mean, let's face it. You know, it's expensive to live around here.
Yeah.
You know, you want to pay people, right?
Right. Yeah.
Don't gyp them off, right? Pay people, be loyal to them, they'll be loyal to you.
But
I mean, that's how I look at life.
I find out that women tell me, waitresses tell me, waiters tell me that they make more money now since after the pandemic than they ever
Because
did.
yeah, everyone's going out. But you always eat at the fancy places, so that's why they make all the money. I'm over at McDonald's getting a burger and a fry. And I had to tip them too. So
I'll tell you how bad it is. I've had tenants. That order DoorDash. It's DoorDash, right?
Yeah, DoorDash.
DoorDash for McDonald's.
Well, that's the way we
What?
are. Yeah.
And I actually did what the heck did I do with the paper? I like to cook, and I used to be in the restaurant business. And this morning, every once in a while, I'll put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
How inexpensive it is to cook at home.
Oh,
versus to
yeah.
cook. I made myself this afternoon a grilled cheese and bacon. No, grilled cheese and egg sandwich on good bread, on
bread.
Sara Lee bread,
Nice.
right? And Land O'Lakes cheese, a slice and a half of Land O'Lakes cheese, and an egg, of course, and even a pickle on the side.
You went all out, Bob.
And
really.
I even include how much the cost of the butter that I put on the bread to to cook. The whole thing cost me less than $4. For that, to have that say, oh, less than $3. What am I saying? It was 48 cents, 43 cents, 42 cents, 40 cents, and 10 cents.
Right.
So $2.
No, I mean, when you eat out now, and I understand, because a lot of restaurants around us are closing, right? It's like every other day. But yeah, when I take my daughters out or I take some friends out and we go out for dinner, it's a $200-something dollar bill.
Especially, hopefully they're not drinking much.
Well, they're 23-year-olds, yeah. So,
Yeah.
And they're my children, so yeah, of course. Bill goes up, right? So, no, but anyways, but if I make that same meal, I made chicken marsala on Sunday night.
Right.
I made chicken marsala and garlic bread. You're right, it doesn't cost much,
Especially when you're buying right. Like I go to the market when things are on sale.
Yeah.
Like Stop and Shop had chicken breast on sale last week for $1.99 a pound.
Right. I mean, that's one of the things too is that when you grow up, a lot of, I didn't necessarily cook when I was younger, and I didn't appreciate what my mother cooked every night. I mean, I didn't have store-bought bread until I was almost 18, 19 years old.
Really?
My mother was great. So I always tell my kids, I'm like, if you have to save money somewhere, this is where you should save. Whether you go to BJ's or Stop and Shop, make your meals for the week. Because they go out, which they should. They're young, and people should go out. I help our restaurant people, but you're spending a lot of money. Maybe once or twice is great, but so there's always food in my refrigerator, and I don't when I'm at work. I like to eat at my desk. Right. I don't want to go. Once in a while, Mark and I will go out for dinner. Emily and I will go out for dinner, whatever. But I like to eat at my desk. I like to know what I have. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And I don't have to be like, what am I going to have tonight? Chipotle, sushi,
Right.
So that's why I love to cook too. But that's a way to save money.
A lot of money.
Yeah, but a lot of people love to go out for dinner. I love to go out for dinner too.
I do too, but you can't do it all the time.
Why would you go out for dinner when you could have a 14-cent grilled cheese and egg sandwich at Bob's?
At Bob's house.
We need to get a cooking segment on here too now, Bob.
Oh, I used to have a cooking segment. That got ruined after the West Warwick disaster. They stopped that. But I used to have chefs on every week.
Yeah,
every show I had.
We have so many great chefs and so many great restaurants around
Yeah.
here. So that's the thing. If
I
I go out for dinner, I like to go out for dinner, but I also like to support the waitress, the waiter, the bartender, and the restaurant because it's tough to keep a restaurant open these days.
El Forno's. You talk about El Forno's.
And that's like a once in a while thing.
All right. El Forno's. Joanne runs it now.
Yeah.
What's his name? Died. His name will come to me, unfortunately. There was a Veterans Memorial Auditorium. They had an event there with chefs from all over.
Yep.
Julia Childs was there. Emerald Lagasse was there. Martin Yen Can Cook, my buddy, was there. And they're all doing a chef cooking segment on stage. It was really cool.
Great.
Well, I was there the whole day with Martin Yen, and we videotaped the whole thing, a bunch of segments with Julia and everything. And after, like 9:30, 9:45, Yen comes to me and he says, "Hey, we want to go get something to eat. Where's a good place?" I said, "Well, there's a lot of good restaurants in Providence, right?" So I'm thinking about it. I'm saying it's getting close to 10 o'clock. So George is his name.
The past, yeah.
I called George and I said, I got a bunch of chefs that want to come over. As it turned out, there was 12 of them, 12 chefs. So I bring them over to El Forno's. They empty out a room, and they pay. George had 3 different couples that were there. He put them in another room. He said, "I'll take care of your dinner," and he gave us the whole room.
Nice.
Now this is closing time. They're already getting ready to close.
Right.
So now we sit down, and as you know, El Forno's, if you want a dessert, you order it before you order the meal.
Right, exactly.
Because they make your dessert for you. Even ice cream, they'll make for you.
Right. I love the pizza, so yeah.
Yeah, I love their pizza too. So we go in there, we sit down. Now, mind you, I brought them there. So all I can think of is, do these people think I'm going to pay this bill? So
You should have brought them for grilled cheese and egg at the Sara Lee bread.
They're all sitting around. We put a whole bunch of tables together, and Martin goes to me. He goes, "Bob, what's good here?" I said, "Everything's good here." I explained to him how you order your dessert first. So he's, "Let's order desserts. What's a good dessert, Bob?" I said, "Everything's good here." He goes, "Give us 2 of everything." So orders the desserts.
You're starting to sweat.
already. Then they order this Chicago-based critic orders 3 bottles of the best wine. I'm thinking hundreds already.
Oh, yeah.
I'm almost at 1,000.
You have to do an Irish goodbye.
Yeah. So now the meals. He says, "What's good here?" Same thing. But yen, everything's good here. Oh, give us this. Give us that. Appetizers, all kinds of appetizers.
Yeah.
So the short of the story is, they come out. Everybody's eating. I didn't even eat. I was so scared.
And what happened?
I'm thinking I'm getting hooked
Yeah,
for
of
this
course.
whole bill.
I've been there.
I am getting hooked for this whole bill.
And?
At one point now, they get to the desserts. Yen finishes the dessert. Everybody starts, they're still eating on the desserts. He gets up and leaves. And I'm sitting there, and now I'm really scared.
Yeah.
I'm getting hooked for this bill, and this bill's in the thousands.
Oh, I bet.
This is in not 1,000
Yeah.
either. All of a sudden, Yen comes back. So I think he did something, but he didn't. He just went to the bathroom.
Yeah.
So I'm still very much afraid. Here comes the waiter with the big
Bill. Dun, 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 dun,
big
dun,
thing.
dun, dun,
Comes
dun,
right
dun,
over to
dun.
me. Comes right over to me.
Yeah.
He comes over to me and he leans down and he hands me the bill and he said, "George said thank you." Right? So is he thanking me
Right.
for
Is he
this
thanking you
this
or is he
big
taking
bill?
it? Right.
Is he thanking me for this bill, or is he thanking me for bringing all these people into
Yeah.
his restaurant?
And what was it?
I opened it up, had a big thank you right across it.
Nice.
The bill was $3,800.
Wow.
Not including tip. Not including tip. And
Wow.
but I didn't eat. I didn't eat anything.
Oh, no, because you were too
I
scared.
was scared. I was petrified.
Now, I heard.
That's El Forno.
Let me ask you a question. I heard that you once dated Julia Child.
Oh,
No scoop there?
oh my God. Yeah, that's a scoop, all right.
I haven't heard you laugh like that in a while.
Had you
Oh,
ever
my
been in
Lord.
her company before?
I have not.
Oh,
No,
my
but,
God.
but she was
Oh!
a staple of she was like she was the queen.
Yeah.
My mother stayed home and watched her put the goodest hen and all this chicken. Oh my Lord. Meryl Streep only could do that right.
And she was English, right? Child's, right?
I know, but didn't she film right in Boston, right? At
Yeah.
at
Oh, yeah. Yep. Public television,
right?
yeah. Yep.
That's why we need public television. Public television. We need it.
That's right. Another thing, since
Go ahead.
we're on the subject, and you should talk about this. God, what were you going to say? You were going to say something?
No, I already asked you a question. You
Oh,
didn't
all
give me
right.
an answer.
I just
I'm going to
got-
take that. Is that a yes or no comment that you dated Julia Child?
That's a no.
Okay, just to make sure. I want to have the big exclusive tonight on Channel 10.
Tell Gene that. I just got a thing in the mail for a credit card. Now, I am so anti-credit card, it's awful.
Okay.
Because people don't understand what they're doing with themselves when they just buy stuff on a credit card and they don't pay it off.
Right.
I use credit cards all the time, but it's automatically paid off. They're set to my bank account. They're paid off
Yeah.
within 30 days.
Right.
So I haven't paid a dollar interest in a dozen years at
You're a
least.
good man.
And I mean, granted, I'm in a position that I can't, but
Right.
I always said that I don't buy anything unless I can afford to pay for it. And I've always lived that. And I got a credit card the other day, and my credit score is over 800. And I got a credit card the other day, and it says, "Oh, congratulations, here's this credit card from Citibank. The annual fee is $99, number one. I wouldn't have a credit card that had an annual fee. The interest rate, guess what the interest rate is on a credit card for somebody with a credit score over 800?
19?
Nope.
What?
27.8.
Wow.
And I'm thinking when people tell me that, oh, I need a credit card because I bought this, I wanted to buy this sweater, a woman friend of mine, I want to buy this sweater and it was on sale and I didn't have the money, so I used a credit card. I said, but you're kidding yourself because you get 20% off on that, but it's costing you 28% to buy
I
it.
know. But yeah, you're right. And in this economy right now where people can barely afford, like look at Christmas, right? I was just, Emily, who you had as a guest, she was telling me she bought some presents for her kids. And because of all the tariffs and whatever have you,
Right.
politics aside, things are expensive. The toys are expensive.
Absolutely.
So she said to me, I bought a few toys and a few gift certificates, and it was like hundreds, and that's where the credit card companies come and get you, right?
Of course.
Get it now, right?
Yeah.
You don't even look at the percentages because all you're thinking is about I got to get Bob a new tie.
Yep.
Not that I don't. I like that tie, Bob.
You
but
like
I
that
just
tie?
wanted. I thought it was pickleball. I
A
wasn't
guy
sure.
gave me, get this one, years ago, a guy gave me 300 brand new ties.
Really?
300.
I thought. Do you play pickleball? Because that looks like a pickleball tie.
No, I don't know what it is, but yeah, a guy gave me 300
Nice.
ties. Yeah.
Wow. So, anyways, yeah, those credit cards you have to be very careful. You have to read the fine print
The print.
because you'll never end up paying it off. And
No.
I've been in that. Listen, I've been in that situation too.
Me too.
Right,
years-
you're going through a
decades
tough
ago.
time, or I had 2 girls in college at the same
Yep.
time, right? And they think that I'm.
Yeah,
you know,
but credit cards weren't that expensive back
no,
20
but I
years
mean
ago.
they're not looking at. One of my daughters does, the other one doesn't. They thought I was a DTM. You know how the ATMs?
ATM,
I
yeah.
thought it was DTM.
DTM.
So yeah, and then Venmo was the worst thing they ever created.
Oh, God.
Because I need it now, Dad. I need it yesterday. I'm at the gas station. I can't put gas in my car. I'm like, really?
Well, how about that other, about pay later, that other
Well,
thing?
that's huge.
That's
now.
very
You talk to Emily about
dangerous.
that. Emily's
That-
our consumer reporter,
Right, yes.
And she's doing a whole thing that's really, it's like layaway.
That's
Remember
very,
layaway?
yes, yeah.
It's coming back. But that's a sign, and you know this, that's a sign that the economy is not good, right?
Yeah.
That things are too expensive. So they prey on people saying, get what you need for your family first. Now, it's fine when it's toys, Bob. It's not fine when it's food for the table.
Right.
And that's where we are right now.
Right, yeah.
It's you know how expensive it is, right?
Yeah, I sure
I mean, you
do.
can only have so many, grilled cheese and egg sandwiches, right? Jesus.
Well, I'm making chicken tonight.
It's a big night.
I pounded out the chicken already.
It's a big night.
I'm making chicken parm tonight,
Nice. That sounds good.
right?
I love chicken parm.
Very good.
I bet yours is probably better than mine.
I wouldn't say that. I don't know about that. Maybe my sauce is. My sauce could be, with the Italian
We'll have to have a
heritage.
competition for charity one time, right?
All right, there you go.
Dan versus Bob.
There you go. Let's
Yeah,
do it.
I make a mean one.
All right.
I do.
Let's,
Lots of garlic.
exactly. You know what else I use? Huh?
What?
Paprika.
Yeah, that's popular now.
A little.
I don't
tiny
know
bit.
what paprika tastes like.
A
but
little
I-
tiny bit of paprika, but better than that, I use what's the other stuff? The Italian
Oregano?
Oregano.
Yeah.
Little oregano. We're wrapping it up.
All right.
You did an hour.
You know what the most popular brand or flavor that's sold according to McCormick this year? Black currant.
curry?
Black currant.
Oh, okay, currant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because curry, I don't like.
I like it, but
I don't like the taste, the smell
we
of it.
covered everything, Bob.
We did.
Family, food.
We did the whole thing.
I love this show.
Well, you're a good guest.
Well,
I
don't know
knew
about
you'd be a
that.
good guest.
I don't know about that.
Come on, you did good.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate
Did
it.
I do all right?
You did
A-
great.
as a-
You're easy to talk to.
Well, that's what people tell me.
Yeah.
That's what people tell me. That comes with years.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't want to talk to you for long if I was sitting at a bar having a drink, but you're a nice guy to talk to on a talk show.
Well,
Oh, my Lord. Thank you for having me.
Oh, thank you for spending an hour with Bob.
I love it. Happy holidays to you, and happy holidays to all the viewers watching here. I'll see you on Channel 10.
That's right. Channel 10. What time you're on?
I'm on 5, 5:37, and 11. I'm
5,
off, for a little,
5:37,
I'm off
and
a little
11.
bit for the holidays, but those are my
Oh,
shows.
you're off now.
Well, for a little bit, not now, but if I'm off for a little bit for the holidays, just to spend some time with my family.
Oh, good.
But 5, 5:37, 11.
All right. And folks, thank you for spending an hour with Bob and Dan. Dan Jaehning, NBC 10.